Good morning. Yep, we're live. We only have, I worked it out, we've got like 4 shows left. We've got today, Friday, and then of course Monday next week's a public holiday. You've forgotten about that, haven't you? And then Wednesday and Friday next week. And then it's pretty much Christmas, down to the New Year, and then we start again on Jan 6th. So, lots of stuff to get excited about. And very, very busy here at work for us. In fact, it's so busy at work, I've decided to make 2 of the busiest people even more busy by putting them on my show this morning. These 2 are our creative geniuses. They design all kinds of epic shit, and I thought it would be fun to have them here today. They are, and they're also inseparable. So if I was going to get one, I'd have to get them both, right? So we decided to get Tanya de Jongh, and we decided to get Sydney Wohlman. Very nice to see you both.
Good morning.
How are you? Nice getting up so early, huh?
It is.
Yeah,
it wasn't
lovely.
too bad, I think.
Don't lie.
It's interesting.
Don't lie. Tanya sent me a message this morning. She's like,
I'm awake.
I'm awake. Yeah, that's how it feels.
The highway is lovely this time.
Oh,
of the
isn't it
morning.
great?
So
No
much fun.
traffic. Now, that is a reason. Okay, so people often say to me, why do you do the show so early? It's so shit. Why do you have to wake up so early? That's how they actually sound when they say
Yeah,
it.
I can imagine.
I go, well, I just like to punish myself. I get on my cross and I'm a martyr. And then I think about it for a little bit longer and I go, no, actually, it's just because traffic is so much better in the morning.
Yeah, that was lovely. I got
And
here in like 12 minutes straight.
And honestly, like if you can work it out so that you get to work before everyone else, you get like that time where you can actually do stuff where no one else can disturb you, and you get to leave a little bit earlier because you'll finish
Yeah.
before everybody else does.
I don't think we ever really finished.
Yeah.
So
No. I mean, you were on a call just before the show this morning. All right, so I've given a very like flippant intro, but actually one of the reasons I wanted to bring you 2 on was because the new logo and graphics for the show, which we launched this week, are your brainchild, as are so many of the other things on the Real Network. And I just thought it was a good idea to give you some credit. Plus, you 2 are happy to hang at the Real Network all the time and talk nonsense to our people when you're not like extremely busy. So I thought, what the hell? We get you on the show to do the same thing.
We might as well.
Yeah.
the person behind it, the genius for the show, is this one. So I'm going to leave this
Aw.
to you.
No, I
Look
think
at that.
I was actually thinking about it yesterday, even that, yes, I made the thing.
Bring that mic
but
a bit closer to you. I don't like it so far away from you.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
We
all right, good.
Yes, I made the thing, but like it really couldn't have been done because honestly, I was quite stuck on the Gareth branding in the beginning, and I think I went to Tanya and I was like,
Do you hate me? What?
She was
No, I
scared
was
of
just-
you.
It wasn't even a fear. It was just like I was
Why?
so stuck. And then I even spoke to you before. I was like, "Is this something to do with you? Is this something to?" So I was just asking all the questions. But I think when you care enough, caring is cool, and that sort of gives you some limitations on yourself. So I needed Tanya in that process. But otherwise, I think it came out great. Personally, I would say. And it was so much fun.
I'm very happy with it. Absolutely. We've got some nice feedback too from a bunch of really, really smart people who think that it's extremely cool. And then 1 or 2 who complain. But you know what I do with those people is I ignore them. I have all my life. I'm not about to start caring about what they think now. Oh, no. All right. So, listen, we've got a lot of stuff coming up on the show this morning. We've got Achi popping in from travel.co.za. Because obviously it's that time of year, everybody's planning their holidays, they're planning December. If they've got any brains, I still don't because I haven't thought about it and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up paying a fortune for stuff just because I've left it to the last minute. And I don't even know if I want to go away yet. Like I'm looking forward to just chilling, but I know what'll happen is I'll suddenly decide, no, I need to do something, and then it's too late. But
Yeah, good luck with those.
that's my problem, my fault, right?
Yeah.
Have you planned these things? Do you think about these things? Are you
I probably am going to have
organized?
my 2nd December in Joburg, and I'm very excited about it. Because Joburg
Okay.
is lovely. Like the weather's
But you're not
nice.
from Joburg.
No,
Yeah,
my whole
see.
sorry, Mom.
Okay.
My whole family is in Cape Town. So I spent one Christmas here during COVID, if we call it that. And that was actually really nice. The weather's nice. There's no one here. Everything's still open. Like
That's it.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's nice and quiet.
Yeah, like the roads
Actually
were
perfect.
this morning.
Yeah. So I mean, apart from like this, we don't like this very big, loud logo right
No,
here
we're
behind
gonna
us.
move that
we're going to
one.
get rid of.
Yes.
Because I mean, you and I straight away were like, mm-mm.
No, it's a bit much.
No. The word inelegant crossed my mind. All right. But, I mean, since you're in that world and you pay attention to things that the rest of us kind of just, we see billboards, packaging, branding, fashion, design, all of these things, and we just go, that's nice or that's shit. And I had to do some Christmas shopping yesterday, mostly because there was like a gift voucher that was thrown in to something I did this year. And I decided, let me go and spend that on other people, which was lots of fun. I love buying people Christmas presents. But it's amazing to me how certain stuff catches your eye and certain stuff doesn't.
Yeah.
And apparently we have like a color of the year every year. I didn't know this.
Yes. So do you know what Pantone is? The brand?
Pantone, isn't that just how people describe? And if I type in Pantone, I don't know, forest green, it'll give me a color that is actually the definition of that particular shade of green.
Yes, and it's a very specific color coding for printing.
Right. So it says Pantone 3291 or whatever.
And there's like coated and uncoated and solid coated.
Shit.
It's all about like how it actually prints in production.
Okay.
So buying, we actually have 2 Pantone books in the studio in our agency.
Yeah.
It's like a very specific color to get, and those books are very expensive. And every year, Pantone globally releases a color of the year. They choose one based on trends and things that have happened throughout the year.
So what was this year's?
This year,
The person driving it,
risky
right?
move,
I've always
for
had a
sure.
problem with a brown car. What else shouldn't be brown? Your house, really. It's just made of mud. Brown is not the first choice.
I don't know, because this color
That's
is like,
mousse.
it could be,
Mocha mousse.
yeah, it could be an interior color. Like, again, I could see my mom using this in the lounge.
So it's chocolatey,
Yeah.
but sort of a little lighter than the usual chocolate.
I've liked,
I'm just describing it for people who aren't watching on YouTube this morning.
yeah,
but-
I've liked the color. So it's interesting because I didn't really like Pantone's posting about it, but other brands have jumped on now to show like the palette for it. Yeah, there it is. So Pantone just put that out with a few posts, which just looks like chocolate mousse. But some of the other fashion brands have actually put together some nice reels. So if you go on Instagram and you look for color of the year, you'll get it. So like if it's combined with other stuff, I just don't think alone it's my vibe.
It also feels very Kim Kardashian. She loves
Kim
brown.
Kardashian?
Yeah, she loves like the brown color palette, and I'm looking at her from a
Well,
brand point of view.
I
As I do.
secretly I brought you two onto the show so that you could reenact the whole Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande interviews. They're just going to sit here the whole morning going, "Oh my God, you're just so talented. You're so creative. I just love the color
Just crying to
mousse."
each other.
What was it called? Mousse?
Mocha
mousse.
Mocha mousse, yeah.
I don't know. You see, these things completely pass me by usually. So luckily, I've got you around to tell me this stuff.
It's interesting because, like, I've been in the industry for a while, and the color of the year has never really influenced me. I don't know if you've ever gone like,
No.
it's peach fuzz year. We need to bring it into like our work. But
Well,
it's good to know.
Matthew says in the comments, must be moose because in the new year we're all going to shit. Well, that's usually what happens, like January, right? Yeah, and then enough of this. The lover of Kim K, not me, says Bitcoin Bud. Okay, the pillars look like a sleazy casino on a cruise ship. The pillars of the studio, you don't like them? It actually does look a bit cruise shippy. Now that I think about it, yeah, you know what?
It is
you might have
giving
a point.
MSC.
Yeah, Bebop Williams, that's a good point. Okay. And then here's something that somebody else says. The initial yellow and black CC was boss, but we still got that yellow and black going on
Yeah,
the...
we brought it
Yeah,
back.
we brought the yellow
That was
back.
intentional.
Yes, absolutely.
See, things like that makes me happy, Gareth.
Yeah, people are paying attention.
And they pick up color cues. You had yellow for Cliff Central. It's come back
Yeah, there we go.
there.
All right.
Science, it
So
works.
we presented it, so now you understand why.
I got
Memory
a
structure.
message yesterday. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Isn't that better? There we go. You can see what it's all about. And don't worry. Yes, we will be doing a new photo of me that is 10 years old or whatever. You know, people get very hit up about the fact that I'm not using an old picture. We just haven't done any new ones. That's all. Okay, so there is something that I did want to discuss with you. Oh, by the way, these figurines on the desk here, someone sent me a message about that. They've been sitting in the office for, I don't know, months. I don't know where they come from. I don't know why the guys decided they should live here, but they're on the table now. I think we had them on once before for one of the shows, and they also got more attention than anything we were talking about.
I thought they came from your house.
Nope.
Oh,
No,
I thought
no,
it was
no.
part of your library collection
Oh, no,
that overflowed.
these are, what do they call them again?
Figurines.
No, man. These are called something else. Let me just see.
Bobbleheads?
Funko Pops.
No,
Yeah.
that's a made-up brand.
No, they're called Funko Pops. And you can get different ones. There's Batman, Mandalorian, that's Christmas Spider-Man, and Dobby.
Dobby,
From
fair.
Harry
Quite
Potter.
cute.
Dobby wins.
Okay, yeah. And we've got like a ton of them in the office still. But I think we bought them when we moved here just because we needed
Oh.
something to...
I really thought you had an excessive collection of them at your house.
No.
Like books. And
I
then-
don't, but my brother does. He collects all that kind of crap.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's cool though.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things that are going on in the world today. And I know one or two of them are things that you guys are talking about. So I don't know if you've seen this story about the guy, the United Healthcare guy who was shot in the street in New York. I know that's not the sort of news you want to wake up to, but this has been news for the last 2 days already. And this guy was killed by a vigilante. There's no other way to describe it. If you shoot someone in the streets of a civilized place like New York, civilized in inverted commas, some people don't think it is. I happen to love New York. This guy who took him out, apparently a little deranged. He had some back problems and was in constant pain because of a back operation that he had. And he decided that the best way to fix the medical system in America, the healthcare insurance business in America, is to just shoot the guy who's in charge of one of the firms. Of course, nothing has changed for anyone who has health insurance or doesn't in America as a result of this. But this dude who did the shooting is getting unbelievable attention all over the internet. In fact, there are women and men who are like in love with this dude. And his name is Luigi something or another.
Mangione.
Mangione, that's right. Quite right. And this guy is now getting the lion's share of attention from everybody. It's sort of that thing of where, you know, a lot of women write letters to convicted
Yeah.
felons,
Yeah.
but really bad ones, like serial killers and the bad people, the ones that you wouldn't want to be standing outside your house when you walked out first thing in the morning to come to this show. Here he is. That's Luigi. So a lot of girls and guys are falling in love with him. They think he's just the hottest thing. But he's an insane vigilante. This drives me crazy. I wonder what goes through someone's head. First of all, if you find someone attractive, cool. But then to post about it when he's killed somebody, it's the weirdest thing to me. And
Yeah.
it seems to be all over the internet this morning. So I need someone to explain to me how the hell this works.
Definitely like a TikTok thing. These TikTok girls love criminals, it seems. But
Yeah.
we've seen this for years. Ted Bundy had a,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
woman loved him.
That's right.
What's
In
even
fact,
funnier-
this guy apparently had a manifesto, and there was a whole lot of stuff in there, either about Ted Bundy or the Unabomber.
Yeah, it was the Unabomber.
He was like inspired by those guys. So, again, I love the way that there are
All
women.
the flags are red.
There are women who are, it's mostly women, who are attracted to this guy, but they wouldn't actually want him in their house.
I don't know.
It's so funny though. Criminals get married in prison all the time.
Oh yeah, and
You
let
know,
me tell you, here in
convicted
South Africa, we
murderers.
have a similar situation. There are prisoners who are on like long life sentences, and I did a show from a prison once, and they told me they get letters all the time.
Just from
Wow.
random people.
Well, random people who see the story on the news, or
And then write them. And
then they write to them, and they want to be part of that whole situation.
It's weird because it's like a psychology thing.
Mm.
I wouldn't say it's
Must
like
be.
people in power because the story reminds me of the opposite of this one. Is that I don't know if you remember, a few years back in South Africa, there was that police officer that stopped people and like, I think he was in like the Eastern Cape and he went viral.
Oh, that was this year
yeah, I
still.
remember.
Yeah.
He went
Yeah,
viral 'cause he was
he's this
so
really
hot.
good-looking police officer, and
Yes.
he is still a policeman. That's what he does. He's not like being a policeman in between
Yeah, but the internet
modeling
went
jobs.
crazy
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it.
yeah.
that makes more sense.
But
then.
that's, I mean, a policeman, you know, as I understand it, you talk about psychology, but as I understand it, most women, even if they're subconsciously aware of it, want a guy who can protect them, look after them, not the kind of guy who would just wield a gun in New York and shoot
yeah.
someone because they're unhappy about the pain in their neck or back.
Yeah, it feels like a weird
It
reason.
does. It strikes me as a bit strange. Plus, by the way, I don't hear anyone on the left coming out about the gun control stuff that they usually do when this happens.
Or-
No, instead, there are insane people. I saw a clip from the Piers Morgan show where this journalist, in inverted commas, called Taylor Lorenz went on, and she said she's feeling joyful about the fact that this guy was killed. Joyful. That was the word she
Is that-
used. And Piers
wow.
said, "Are you sure you want to use that word?
that your-
Joy."
Yeah, but you know, everyone on the
Joyful?
left is just a little off center.
Well, yeah. Look, there are a lot of people this year who are kind of off center, and you would know all about it on what that looks like from a design point of view. But the fact is, like, there are desperately insane people in this world, and then there are the ones who rally behind them that worry me even more. So it's a
It's
very,
when people
very
try
bizarre
to
story.
overanalyze these people to try validate a point. That's when it gets weird. When they're like, "Oh, but he did it because."
Well, this is it. And they also try to read into it why he's a good guy, right? So they're saying, people like this Taylor Lorenz is saying, for example, oh, no, but, you know, healthcare companies are terrible and they profiteer off of good people. And sometimes because they make a decision not to give some medicine or a treatment to people because it's not covered, that those people die. And therefore it's justified that you go out and kill him. I don't know whether any of these people have thought about it, but like on a moral, ethical scale, I don't know how you can ever justify that sort of thing. Very heavy story, but something that seems to be grabbing America by the balls this morning. And then, I mean, this has been probably the most AI year ever.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is using AI for everything now. It's only a matter of time before your plumber and electrician start saying to you, don't worry, we're not going to send anyone over. I'm just going to use AI to analyze the flow of water in your toilet. And I'm telling you, it's coming. They're going to find a way to do that too, like, you know, these Internet of Things
You say that.
ways of there's a toilet. There was one online. I saw this the other day. There is a toilet that weighs you before and after you've taken a dump.
No,
While
stop
you're
that.
sitting on it.
Why?
And there's one with a screen on the back of the lid that will give you
An
based
analysis.
on both.
Stop
It'll take a
it.
photograph of whatever's in the bowl.
Oh,
and then
not scientific.
No, apparently it is.
Oh, really?
And it'll assess the Pantone of what you've left there, right? The
'Cause I'm
color.
like, does-
Pantone.
No, really. It'll assess the Pantone, give it a number, decide if it's the color of the year or not, and then decide how healthy you are based on that. I kid you not.
Scientifically, okay, I know it's a shitty topic,
Yeah,
literally, but that's pretty insane if they've managed to like figure out what to put in the water to read that. Because like you can figure out quite a lot of things, but you could also find out like you're pregnant through that, and I don't know how I feel about.
Well, Matthew says Leanne must be on her way to the USA. Don't worry, Luigi. Leanne is on the way to save you. I wouldn't put it past her.
Shame. You should actually ask Lee how she feel about it.
And then Goon says, at Gareth, that guy's company was ripping people off. That's why people love him. so you love a killer because the person he killed, you say is worse than. So this guy was ripping people off, but somehow the murderer is okay because he got rid of the guy who's ripping people off. Sure. Okay, one of these days, Goon, I hope you and I never actually meet, but if we did, you're going to have to explain that one to me. So do I need to go to jail to meet someone, says Khomotso. Cutting to the chase. I know Khomotso, and I would not rush to jail if I were you. That's not the best place to find
Is there
someone.
a dating app yet for that?
I'm sure there will be.
Because there's dating apps for like billionaires.
Everything.
There's dating apps for like
Right?
every type of sub-segment
Yeah.
category.
So apparently there is a dating app for people who like fly fishing.
Obviously there is. That is
Seriously.
so on brand. for
What did we figure out, guys, the other day? Oh yeah, Leanne was here on Monday. She said to me, she has an app on her phone that warns her that there's lightning and thunder coming.
Is she terrified?
No, her cats are. But,
Okay.
And you can kind of
My cats are pretty hardcore there. It doesn't phase them.
your cats are hardcore. They catch and kill everything.
Yeah, no fly
Right.
zone in the apartment.
So apparently even mosquitoes don't survive in Tanya's apartment, which can I borrow your cats for a while? Because
Yeah, sure.
do they get the mosquitoes?
Yeah, they catch every single one. I'm not joking.
That
like,
is
a
what.
fly, a
Now
moth.
that is a useful cat.
It's one feral one and one like just I want to say street adopted one, but the
Shit.
feral one is pretty accurate.
That's amazing.
Like no.
Never found like cats by definition are not useful. Like dogs do stuff, right? Like they're working
You're
dogs.
such a
and-
dog person because
I
I
am.
feel the other way around.
Okay, well, I'll explain
cats
this quickly.
Get mice.
You don't hear stories about how cats do useful stuff. I mean, obviously there's the old adage of like you get the cat to kill the rats and mice that are not
You
meant
don't
to
get
be.
them; they just do it for you and they gift it to you as a present.
Yeah.
Well, dogs can be trained to do things, pull sleds, protect the house. That
Does
kind
Alice pull a sleigh
No,
at
she
your
can't
house?
put. No, my dog can't pull a sled or guard the house. My dog is useless at all of the things.
She's cute
Okay.
though.
But the cats are not meant to be the ones who are useful, and yet yours are here doing probably the most useful thing in a South African summer that anyone could ever imagine.
I'm going to send you a video. I've trained the one cat, Finn, to sit for a treat, which is not
seen
no.
it.
And Sid has seen this live.
You've seen
It's
this?
a
Yeah.
real thing. He sits for treats.
Jesus.
And only for me.
Teach us how. Okay. What would that prisoner dating app be called? Inmates? Inmates for you?
That's hilarious.
Inmates is very good,
Oh, I
Tracy.
love
I think
it.
that's absolutely brilliant.
Should do a logo.
I like
We
that a
should
lot.
do a logo.
We should come up with something. Cats are kind of useless. You've never heard of a seeing eye cat?
What's the scene?
Well, they've got people who have guide dogs, blind
Oh.
people, and the dog does the. You've never heard of that?
I've heard of dogs doing that, but not a cat. Like someone tried to ask me, should I try get my cats to go for walks? And I tried it once and I almost lost my arm
Yeah,
trying
you're
to put my
not
cat
wrong.
in a harness.
Oh, that won't work.
Yeah, it's not
No.
going to fly.
Nico says, "Who knew that a puss could prevent malaria?"
That's, yeah, actually, there
That's
we
good.
are.
That's good.
Not good, not useless.
All right. So, are you? What do you do with your cats when you go away?
I get someone to look after them.
And they stay in your house.
Either that or they had like a foster mom before I adopted them.
Ah.
And I take it back to her house. She's got a whole bunch of cats.
Oh, so it's
settle
like a
in
cat
there.
hotel.
Yeah, basically. But the last time I went to Cape Town, my one cat got sick. So I think it's a big reason why I'm not.
Why are you
leaving.
looking so concerned, Sydney?
No, I was just thinking about the cat thing.
But-
Like
but-
living on their own.
Cats are fine on their own.
You can
aren't
leave
they?
them for about 2-3 days on their own. Like if they've got water, they're fine. My cats also graze feed, so just food in a bowl, and they'll have when they're ready.
And they won't, like a dog will overeat and
No.
eat everything. Yeah.
Some cats do, mine don't. So I'm just lucky. It's not like I train.
I
them.
think you have superior cats. I'm just saying.
I'm not upset
I
about
think
that.
this is very good. All right, so you guys wanted to talk. I mentioned how AI is going into everything. That's how we got into the shitty topic. But AI is everywhere. It's the year of AI. This is what everybody is investing money in. They say it's going to change the way everybody does everything in business. But I'm only just getting to grips. And I mean, I've been messing around on like ChatGPT and all the rest of it for probably about a year and a bit. But I really have started using it quite a lot in the last 2-3 months. And I bought the paid version,
Okay.
which is quite cool.
So
Because you
you've
can do
given
stuff.
it prompts. for a while? You've asked it things.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it should have some idea of what I'm interested in.
Okay.
And what I want to
Because
do.
what we thought, I mean, we get asked this question all the time. I think just when the AI topic buzzword of the year came out, I think everyone thought we were going to lose our jobs. Which
Yeah,
we still,
everybody did.
They really did.
Yeah.
Like, I've had many questions being like, aren't you scared? And there's certain professions I think you can optimize it to optimize the workflow, but you still need a brain. My sister works in HR, and the story she tells me, I don't think AI will ever take over HR, so they're all fine.
No, because
So-
people problems.
Yeah.
It's not
But
gonna.
we thought what would be cool, and Sid and I have both done this already. So we've given ChatGPT prompts
Okay.
separately.
All right.
So the one was, which one should we do first?
The one was
The house or the personality?
create an image of my life based off everything I've told you so far. Because I think
Ooh.
Tanya will use ChatGPT for headlines. I'll use ChatGPT for.
So we use it for a whole bunch of things.
Coaching.
Like Sid uses it for therapy. I use it for kind of helping me construct certain rationales for work.
Sid
But the
knows a
prompt
lot
we
about-
both put in was kind of create an image. I said to create my dream home. And this is weird because I've never said I like these colors to it.
Mine just says I wasn't able to generate the image as requested. It didn't align with the content policy. If you'd like, I can refine the concept or create a different type of image.
That's weird.
It's not working with us on this one.
We'll show you ours. So we did.
So your dream home?
Well, yeah, I said design my house based on the things I've asked you.
So we're feeding it information.
Oh
all the
wow!
time.
Look at those
Look at my
houses.
house.
Those are very okay. I like that.
I'll move in there tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And there's a cat on the patio, and I never spoke about my cats.
But it's so cool.
So do you think
'cause
it's listening in the background too?
No, I'm not that chaotic.
it's
Sid,
kind
you were
of-
going to say?
It's just cool because I obviously have asked it for running advice and how to be train, and so there's running shoes in the lounge. It's just very
Okay.
interesting.
So it actually does take
It
all
picks
of that
up
into
little bits of
consideration.
my
pieces. Yeah.
laptop.
Let me see. I'll try this one maybe.
It picked up that I like jacarandas. How wild is that? Because the tree in the
Yeah.
back is a jacaranda.
That is nice. That's lovely.
fun.
But I mean, that could actually be in Joburg. I mean, it would be. It's a very fancy house, but I
I'm-
think that could be in Joburg. Huh?
Yeah, floor to ceiling windows, a concrete slab. That is very.
Actually,
on
no,
brand
it
for me.
couldn't. There are no burglar bars. Sorry.
Sorry, Tanya.
I just need a
hate to
hectare.
break
I
it
just
to
need
you.
a hectare around it with then electric fencing.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Based on everything I've told you, show me my dream house. Let me
Yes,
try
let's
that.
see if it.
An image of my dream house. Otherwise,
Yeah.
have to be very
generate
specific.
an
Or
image.
create an image, yeah.
Yeah, it'll show you.
All right.
And
Generate.
it takes a while, like a few seconds.
Yeah. Of my house.
Because I think the thing that's interesting for me, Gareth, is I've never said I like certain interiors or I like a concrete look.
Yeah.
I've asked it crazy things, like design things. I've asked it to rewrite rationales for work. I've asked it advice about my cats. But I've never specifically said I like this or this type of aesthetic. I've never gone modern house, blah, blah, blah. And it picked it up pretty clearly.
I think what's happened with mine is because I bought the paid for version literally a month ago. I haven't put enough information in because it keeps telling me it can't generate an image of any of my stuff.
Sorry.
Do you know the
But,
other one
I
we
mean, that
did,
is
which
boring.
is funnier?
Yeah.
Because I'll have to read to
Oh,
you what
that's
mine
very-
said.
But I like your dream houses, both of you. Very nice.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
could-
like that
could
one.
be good.
Because the other one that I did is generate an image that represents our personality
Ooh.
based on.
Ooh.
Yeah. So mine said before you pull it up, mine says. So I said, create an image that describes everything I've asked on this platform as my personality.
Okay.
And then it gives me an image, but the description is the kicker. So it says, here's the image that reflects the themes of personal growth, bittersweet emotions, and transformation you've described. It captures the essence of letting go, relationships, and hope for the future. What
Don't
do you
you-
imagine in your mind that looks like?
But don't you think ultimately this is going to replace star charts and astrology?
No.
Because that's where I think we're going. People just love personalized things, right? Everybody wants a personalized report on whatever. They want to know what everyone else thinks of them. They want to know more about their own personality, even though they live in their own body and their own mind. They want an analysis of themselves more than they want anything else. First of all, to know that they're okay.
Yeah.
Second of all, to know if they're special in any way, because people love to feel special.
Fair.
And third of all, if there's any predictive power of like what happens next. That's pretty much the only reason people,
It's insecurity or
in many
validation.
ways, it's part of why they read the news, is because they want to know like what happens next and how do I fit into this world and how do I make sense of things. Deep down inside, I think we're all just terrified little primates that live in trees. Not even primates, like rodents. We're like little furry animals that live in trees, and we're just terrified of everything. And everything wants to eat us and destroy us. And there's a part of us that's still like that. And we're trying to make sense of the world. That's why people read this stuff. And I think ChatGPT and other AI platforms are going to create an opportunity for people to get much more detailed analyses of what's going on in their own world, because they'll be putting in information, and eventually this will be using that with a combination of other stuff in their environments, and it'll eventually tell you all the things that you want, and people will just live on these platforms just trying to figure out more about themselves and navel gazing for eternity.
I don't think it's entirely the worst. I think people
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
people
too.
understanding themselves better is a good thing if they use it in the right way. Like if you understand that you get triggered by everything, like Sid, and you can speak to this better. Like Sid actually uses it for therapy.
Really?
I'm not joking.
Really?
Well, not necessarily therapy. I think more as like I was questioning if ChatGPT is my therapist, although it is cheaper than therapy. But there's a lot of the time I would be asking different people for advice on how to handle other things. For example, it's as simple as how do I respond to this message and tell this person that I actually don't want to see them today, or I don't want to,
And
I
then it
need an
gives you the
excuse.
words.
And then it gives you the words, but it also says, does it make you feel this kind of way? Does it make you feel guilty? How does, so it's weirdly a life coach, and I'm cool with it because
I think that's brilliant, though. I mean, like
Yeah.
that for many people is a solution to an ongoing problem of how do I respond to X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And the fact that you, instead of just doing what I usually do, which is like immediately respond and then regret it.
So, not a fuck. I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly. Like that's a much more considered way of doing things. And I know some people will say it's ridiculous, but I actually think it's kind of smart.
Yeah, I mean,
And you're using
helps us
the
communicate.
full sum of human knowledge to generate the best possible response for you and for the situation. I'm in favor. Here's the robots are giving us some joy and bringing us into a false sense of security, and then boom, hello Skynet, says Signet. Yeah. ChatGPT is like the friend that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Also true.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, right?
Also true.
Yeah. Gareth will buy a Tesla bot and upload all the AI data to that bot. Oh, listen, if I can find an assistant that isn't human, then I'll be happy. Because I don't want a human assistant. I don't want to have those conversations. I want to be able to talk to it like
Alexa
Alexa.
or Siri.
And you know these people who say, oh, I can't understand how human beings were so horrible to each other for thousands of years and slavery and all this stuff. And I'm like, have you heard how you talk to your Chat GPT or your Alexa or your Siri? You talk to it like a master
That's true.
shouting at its slave.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
it's
I
not
can
great.
see what kind of a master you would have been back in the day.
You say this, we worked with a guy.
That's what I was
Yeah. We're thinking the same things already. We worked with a guy at our previous agency who is one of the most polite humans in the world.
Uh-huh.
And he used to insert please in front of his prompts on Photoshop, like image
That's so-
generation.
that's so
please,
unnecessary.
please
sweet.
extend the image. And we were like, dude, you know that you don't, like, every word counts as like a prompt and a steer.
Sure.
You don't have to say please, but he always said, please, can you make the sky more blue? Please. And I was like, so funny.
I know people who are way too polite with either the talking and doing apps, the Siris and Alexas, or the Chat GPTs. I don't think it helps.
It's also how people speak to Uber delivery guys.
Oh, it's very horrible.
There's that
horrible,
as well. Because
right?
their please and thank you goes a long way. I've seen friends of mine just be like, and that's the thing that cuts you deep. If you're like at a house, someone's ordering food for everyone, and you see how they respond.
Yeah.
I had an ex of mine be like, why are you so nice to this guy? I'm like, I'm just like, I'm speaking to them like they're a human.
Do you know why I'm nice to them? Because do you know how many times I've driven past an accident and seen that it's one of
Yeah.
them and thought there's probably some asshole on the other side of that, and I hope it's never been me. He's like, where's my fucking pizza?
I actually worry every
Meanwhile,
time.
the guy's been like knocked senseless, if not dead, off this bike of his.
Yeah.
And he's trying to earn that, like, what, 10%, 15% that you tip him.
Also, in Johannesburg, we've got all these complexes that are so, it's pretty confusing to
It's
navigate.
so confusing.
So, like, if I'm just going, how's it? I'm on this floor. I'm being not nice. I'm just trying to get my stuff
Yeah.
quicker and
Yeah.
have him have a good time. I don't get it. People are weird for no
Bitcoin
reason.
Bit says we should replace James with the bot. We will all vote yes. Yo,
Oh, James.
people are giving you such hell lately. The BBC Chat GPT mobile app talks to you and is unbelievably human-like. It's crazy, 1,000 times more human than Siri. The BBC Chat GPT.
I haven't heard of that one.
Wow.
I
Okay, I
haven't
must
heard of
look into this. I didn't know that. You have to be nice to ChatGPT. If you don't, it reacts negatively over time. I did the experiment, says Bitcoin Butch.
I wonder
Oh, no,
how
Goon.
did he?
Ignore BBC. Oh, okay, the ChatGPT mobile app talks to you. Yeah, but I've used that. I'm not sure.
I don't really know if I wanted to talk back to me though.
No.
Just give me
No.
answers or pictures.
I use Google Home, and I always say, please, when giving commands, call me silly. I can't help it. So I've got Alexa at home, and I'll sometimes ask Alexa to tell me what's in the news. And then it'll start going through stories, and then when I've heard enough, I go, stop! Then it just stops. Right?
Nothing is better than your where.
Yeah.
We've started using
Oh, no.
that a lot to
Where
describe
is,
things.
Where is endlessly useful.
No.
And you know where it comes from?
No?
So when my two little nephews were just starting to like understand basic card games and things, my sister's boyfriend bought them a pack of Uno cards.
Okay.
And Uno is like a perennial favorite for long car trips
Yes.
or for people on
But there's
weekends in the
different
bush or
rules
whatever.
for different families.
There are
in
different
Uno.
rules. Like, can you put it plus
plus
two
two
on
on a plus two,
plus
yeah,
two?
different
Apparently,
rules.
the Uno guys have come out today. That's why
Said
it's so
it's not a
relevant. They
thing.
said it's not a thing. You're not allowed to put the plus two on top of the plus
But you
two.
just have to establish the rules with your collective before.
Anyway, so
Okay.
James gets them some Uno cards, and then he says, now, boys, you've learned how to play ordinary Uno. Today, back to your point about like how every family has their rules, today we're playing wah Uno. So wah Uno is when you smash down a plus two, plus four, however many
Yeah.
pluses you can, then you go wah to the person too. So it's like Uno, but it's nasty. Right?
love that so
That's where the wah
much.
comes from. So now, and I use this in particular on one or two of my friends who like they get moany and whiny, and then I just go wah. But it is useful. There's nothing else that you
Sid
need to say.
describes, we describe situations to each other, like work ones, like
Yeah.
that. She'll be like, someone was aware.
Or someone's
That's very
having a
good.
wear.
I'm glad to have contributed to your lexicon. That's excellent. Chomotso says that Siri is sarcastic. Yes, so Siri must fucking try that with me. Yo, I will shut that bitch
I
down.
would love it to see a debate between you and Siri, no jokes.
Can you imagine how stupid you'll feel if you're sitting there in your house and you're having a debate with your own AI?
Shouting into the
Shouting.
ether.
You're like, oh, that's not true, you bitch. I didn't say that. Yes, you did. You did say that. I have the recording. I kept the receipts. Oh, damn you, Siri. Go to hell. James is an agent sent here to try and ruin the show, says Lou. People are very mean.
People are
Okay,
so mean
you
to
two have you've had some interactions with James. Tell me, do you think he's as bad as the audience think he is?
Sid.
Come
no,
on,
he's
guys.
not. He's not as bad as the audience thinks.
Stand up for him a little bit.
He's doing his best, I think.
Shame. You're
Aren't we
bashed.
all?
You know that line from that Alcatraz movie, The Rock, with Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. I always bring up this line. It's my favorite. When someone says, they're doing their best, like Sid just did now. It's very sweet of you, Sid, but it's not true.
You know, I
Because he
don't think
goes,
he's that bad.
you're bashed. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Best line.
Right?
Best
Good line. Yeah. Okay. These scooter
Leave
drivers
James
drive
alone.
badly, says Bitcoin, but that's very mean. Some of these scooters, I wouldn't want to be on those scooters on South African roads. You know, I'm in a car on the roads and I have to worry about everybody else, not just myself or the potholes or everything that we normally deal with on a day-to-day basis. Imagine being on some like third hand, tied up with chicken wire. Brakes haven't worked for like the last 500 kilometers. I don't think it's fair for us to. These guys are doing. Remember, there's a gap in the market here. We are all so lazy that we won't go to the takeaway place to go and get our takeaways.
Yeah, just collect it.
Yeah, I mean, people are now. I see so many of these Checkers 60/60 guys all over.
I
There
know people that
fleets
only
of
use
them.
that.
I know.
And they'll do 2-3 times a day because they forgot something. I'm
Right.
like, what?
Exactly. I mean, there are obviously people in the place I live that are ordering this stuff all the time because these guys are in and out of there like they spend more time on our roads inside of the place than the security do.
You know, it makes the inside experience of Checkers actually quite stressful.
It is, and they've got those things that keep going pop-bling,
Yeah,
pop-bling,
yeah.
pop-bling the whole time.
And someone bashing
You're like, what the
into
hell?
you.
Is it an alarm? What's going on?
Yeah, they
Right?
just want to run you over inside.
Terrifying. All right, but we were talking earlier about holidays and stuff, and we do want to get into that just now. I want to get Achi to come and join us in just a moment or two. He is going to tell us all about what's going on at travel.co.za for our last window seat of the year. So stick around for that and a whole lot more. Just before we get to that, James, I just want you to show Sid and Tanya this, and everybody else, obviously, too. I sent James a whole bunch of stuff last night that I thought was funny and or entertaining or both. And by the way, we've had some feedback from people about how some of the stuff that we've been showing lately has been very mean. But I think this is terrific. This is a song from Holland. The last time I gave you a song from Holland, James, it became like a theme on the show. It's that ugly Jan Buchel guy who goes, ik het bij een warm land, even op vakantie. Anyway.
It's so close to
Right?
Afrikaans. I'm
It's
here
so-
for
it
it.
is.
I'm
And then he
here
goes,
for it.
lekker bakken in de zon. And you're like, I know what that means.
Getting baked in the sun.
Anyway, ugliest guy in the world. And everybody loved that Dutch song so much. I sent you this other one. The words here are maybe a little bit more work than the ones in Jan Buchel, but I think people will like it. So have you got that clip for us? All right, let's go with this quickly while we get Achi in. Manus, haal je vinger uit mijn anus. Bring Achi in now, otherwise we're not going to be able to get him to sit down. How's it, Achi? Come and grab.
Hello.
Oh Nel, ik ben biseksueel. Maar ja, ik kan daar niks aan doen. Je hebt zo'n mooie kont, zo mollig en zo rond. Oh wat een gat, wat een gevoel is dat.
It's outrageous.
Dit is even vangerijk.
Vinger uit.
All right, well, that's enough of that. But there we go, you know. There's songs, now thanks to the internet, you can write a song about anything. Manus, haal je vinger uit mijn anus. Very good. I love it. So we know that you love people singing in Dutch, and we decided we'd throw that in just before Christmas as our gift to you on the show. All right, it's time for the window seat, and I love this because people are in holiday mode like at no other time of the year. And although last time Achi was here, he told us you have to plan these things well in advance. If you are not doing anything and you are sitting there feeling miserable and you think, I can't afford to do anything, save your money and plan something for next year rather than be an idiot and end up spending way more than you should just to get like a week in Cape Town this year. So let's talk to the man who knows these things better than anyone else. Achi Adams, it's nice to see you. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Lekker, man.
Haven't seen you in what, like 2 weeks now.
I know, and I've got to say, you guys, Turbest, the whole group of companies, did the most incredible. Tanya, Sydney, you would have loved this. They did the most incredible end of year function in Cape Town and in Joburg, but I missed the one that you did in Kruger too. But the Joburg one, they did a Mardi Gras at Gold Reef City. Now, you know, you've got those old buildings that look like New Orleans. The place was decked out. People were dressed up. There were about 1,600 people there.
Yeah.
It
about.
was insane.
I missed it. I didn't.
Were you traveling again?
I was traveling.
Obviously you were. 'Cause
So, I mean,
I've only met Achi on Teams, by the way.
really?
Yeah, this is our first in person because Achi's
yeah.
always
Very
traveling.
good.
I was driving here. I was counting. I think I was about just over 60 days of this year. I was out of the country.
Wow.
And it's a quiet
does
year.
it ever get boring for you?
Never.
Do you ever get to the airport and go, ugh, enough of this?
On the way to the airport, yes.
Yeah.
At the moment I enter the airport, no.
Then you're excited.
Yeah, then you're excited.
Okay, so just give us a little window into what kinds of exciting places you've been to this year.
Well, boring actually. I've been to London twice. I've been to Dubai twice. I just came back from Dubai. Funny you talking about all these delivery drivers and stuff like that. You've seen nothing. Nothing, I promise you.
Is it crazy there?
It is absolutely nuts. Even the Uber drivers are hectic. Our taxi drivers have got nothing on them. And I have a theory about it.
Yeah?
I mean, these guys are mostly from Bangladesh and India,
Yeah.
where they ride around in tuk-tuks and
Yeah.
Tatas and stuff.
Yeah.
They come to Dubai and they get a nice electric Toyota or Camry or Lexus, and they've never felt power like that in their lives. So they take full advantage of it. Jeez, these guys are cowboys on the roads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
we've
so
been
we
there.
won't complain about that.
No. I've sent James a little 30-second reel. He'll play it for you, just highlights of Dubai, London, some of the trips we've been on this year.
Amazing.
But the best one was we went to Baku,
Baku.
Yes, I was
Yes.
waiting for that story.
Azerbaijan.
That's wild. Not on everybody's travel list.
Not on mine either.
No. We'll get to Baku in a second. Let's see this reel of Achi's. Wow. This is all your own footage.
Yeah.
Damn, Achi, that's fantastic.
This does not look like work, Achi.
Yeah.
Wow. You know how people have their Spotify, like...
Wrapped?
Yeah. This is way better.
You were on the grid.
Well, you saw that photo. I was
I
holding
can't.
Which F1 was that?
that. That was the Azerbaijan, Baku
Baku.
Grand Prix.
Oh, man.
Got invited at the very last minute
Yeah.
with Qatar Airways, our favorite airline.
Yeah.
And as the name sponsor, they get a few people that they can take. And you get different types of access to a Grand Prix. You can get a match, what do you call it? General access
Yeah,
tickets.
there's stands.
Grandstand tickets and stuff like that. It's not cheap, by the way, $90 for
Wow.
Baku,
Yeah.
for grandstand.
But the grid walk is.
And you then get a paddock, or let's call it, not even before you get paddock, you get a hospitality.
access.
Yeah.
Which gets you a suite. You can walk down the pit lane, once or twice. You then get paddock access. And paddock access gets you access to the part behind the pit lane or the pit garages, where you get to interact with the drivers and the teams. They're walking past you.
Okay, obviously Tanya's more of a fan of F1 than I am.
I know
but-
you hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I realized, when everybody else gets excited about the stuff that I don't, and there are people who would enjoy it more than I would. But what's so clever about going to a place like Azerbaijan, obviously, is that's not on most people's list of, the Azerbaijan. But that's where you get the access you wouldn't get anywhere else. That's so
100%.
clever.
Yeah,
I mean, you're like in spitting distance from all these famous F1 drivers, right?
all the time. I mean, it became boring afterwards.
Stop.
A paddock pass or paddock access will lend you about 200,000 rand, and that's without your flights or accommodation, just for the paddock
Just the-
pass for the 3
just the
days.
pass.
Wow.
And then you get what's called grid access. And
Now
grid
that's even
access-
more fancy.
And
Yeah.
that is by invitation only. So to give you an indication, you saw there was a photo of Will Smith. He couldn't get on the grid.
That's where all the
Not bad.
celebrities are. Like, And that's how like the different teams
Yeah.
choose different celebrities.
So you
to
get
look
invited.
cooler, but it's invite only. That's why I said you were on the grid.
Was on the grid.
Like, that is wild.
I was so blown away by that. I mean, it was experience of a lifetime. I was so blown away by it. I mean, I took a million videos and photos, and you don't get a chance to go through it till you at home. And I was going through one of the videos, and I was videoing on the grid as the drivers were around their cars, the mechanics. The only people allowed are the drivers and their teams, the press, and the 50 or so invited guests.
Damn.
I'm videoing everything that's going on, and I get to one of the cars, which my brother likes, and I want to get a close-up, and there's this crowd of people walking by, and I'm like, F out of the way, man. You know, I'm trying to get a car. When I'm home, I'm
Who's
looking
in
at
the
the
crowd?
footage, and Naomi Campbell's walking past me, and I'm like telling her to fuck off. And the president of Azerbaijan's walking past, I'm like, get out of the way. I only realized that when I
Sure.
got home. I'm like, my wife says, who's that? She looks familiar. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, shit. Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
hectic.
Wow.
this is why you can't really get jaded with travel because every experience is a different one, right?
Yeah, and it's these
And you can
things
go to the same
surprise you.
place twice in a year and have a totally different experience both
100%.
times.
100%. I mean, Dubai is a typical example. That place changes so rapidly. I think in the space of 2 years, they've built about 150 kilometers of highway.
Yeah.
And their highway is 16 lanes. 8 lanes going one direction, 8 lanes going the other direction.
And we
And-
think the N1's busy. Huh? Seriously.
2 years ago, we went to Jumeirah Beach, is a nice area, to get a really cool sunset photo of the sun going down on the Burj Al Arab, you know, that
Is
iconic hotel.
That's opposite the Palm, hey? It's
No.
not close to the Palm.
It's close. It's close to the Palm. It's
Okay.
not opposite. It's that curvy hotel, that
Yes.
6-star hotel. So on the public beach, you get a beautiful photo of the sun going down on the Burj Al Arab. We went now 2 years later, and all you see is the top of the Burj Al Arab, because there's a 5-star new hotel that closed off that beach.
Within a year.
No.
Within 2 years, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a beautiful marina that's for really. They allow you to walk close down because they've got all these fancy cafes, and you walk down and taking photos and like shit. I can't see the hotel, but look to the right and you see townhouses, and they look like ordinary townhouses. You know, like really pretty, nice glass, and there's a Ferrari and a G-Wagon and all these people in their fancy cars. You cross the road and the private yacht's there. So you get a garage for your car, and the
man.
private yachts are there.
That's next level living.
It's
I mean,
unreal.
I used to think that, who is it, John Travolta, who's got like his own landing strip at his house in Florida?
Yeah.
And he's got a hangar, like attached to the house. And it looks pretty revolting if you're not an aviation enthusiast. Because why would you have this airplane hangar and this long ass landing strip instead of a nice garden or whatever? But that's his thing.
Yes.
That's nothing though.
No.
Because in Dubai, you can literally have all these townhouses and each one of them has their yacht access, their car access.
That's right. Yeah,
It's
mad.
like Monaco
insane.
and the yacht garages.
Yeah, 100%. And look, we stayed at the Palm, so we had a brilliant view at the base of the Palm in a place called West Palm Beach. It's the Duke's Hotel. It's a British kind of hotel. And we had a view of the one side of the Palm, so you could see all the leaves. And you see these beautiful houses and all of that kind of stuff. And at night, when you see how many lights are on, there's only like 3 on each palm that's on.
Oh, because most of the houses aren't people's primary residence.
Or it's people from overseas who own those properties and don't live there.
Sounds like Cape Town.
Yeah.
So they're all empty.
Yeah, like Camps Bay in winter. There's John Travolta's house. Would you want to live in a house like that? You see, if you come in from the driveway, which you can see at the top
Oh,
of
there's
the
an
picture.
actual plane.
Yeah. There's a few. There's 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
What?
That's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actual Boeing 737.
Yeah, so he's got 2 hangars there on the left and the right. But he lives in that middle part, and there's a pool, and there's like, all the usual stuff. But I mean, would you want to live there? I don't know. That's pretty extravagant.
I don't think I would hate that.
I wouldn't
be
hate it. I mean,
unhappy.
Sid, you just hop onto your own plane. You don't have to go through customs or any of that shit as long as you're flying internally.
I don't like the shape of it. And I know you're
yeah.
going to laugh at me.
No.
Like, I find it weird that everything is like in one line.
You know what? This is why you're doing the things you do. This is why you are the person who looks at things and decides whether they appeal and they're beautiful or not. No, I agree. It's not my kind of house. Not at all. It would take me a long time to get used to
Phone
a place
someone on
like
the
that.
other side of the house.
Yeah.
Be like, how's
And-
it? I'm on the
And
north
also,
side.
it's a bit, I just think like 3 planes, really, you know? But then we're talking about Dubai. So where else?
London, Mauritius, and obviously Baku. Baku was the cheapest by far.
What?
I mean, it's unbelievable how affordable it could be if you wanted to go to a Grand Prix.
Now, apart from the Grand Prix, was Baku worth it? Was it
Safe,
interesting?
Clean, reminded me a lot of Athens.
Mm.
I mean, you remember when we
Yeah.
were in Athens, we were surprised by that nightlife.
Mm.
There's one street that actually looks exactly like Athens. At 11 o'clock at night, it comes to life.
Wow.
All the people are driving up. There's so much traffic. The bars are open. The restaurants are open. And it's super safe, super clean, and super cheap.
Do you do any local travel?
We've
Achi,
been
because
to,
you're all overseas all the time.
So the
rest of
usual-
us are like, well, maybe I'll squeeze in a weekend
In
in
Hermanus.
So we've been to Cape Town.
Kroonstad,
Cape
yeah.
Town, obviously, for our
Right.
events.
Yes.
We went to Shepherd's Tree in the Pilanesberg, one of the AHA lodges.
That's nice.
That was fantastic. And we've been to Skukuza, which is another one of the AHA properties.
Hmm.
And that was fantastic. I mean, driving through the Kruger to get there, and it was outstanding.
And at this time of year, do you just try and stay at home?
Yes, because I know what's in store for us next year.
What is in store next
Oh,
year?
well, the same again. I mean, there's reasons we go to the UK often and Dubai.
That's for conferences.
And we've got our established office in the UK now.
Yeah.
And we're on the verge of opening up our office in Dubai.
Just by the way, for people who don't know this, because I spoke to Martin, who runs TDM, Destination Management. He was telling me about how the Tourvest Group is probably in the top 3 travel businesses in the world.
Yeah.
And that's a South African company. Isn't that cool?
That's nuts.
I think
it's
that's
super cool.
pretty
That's
damned amazing. So, I mean, obviously, this is why we love having you on the show, because you tell us all the stuff
Yeah.
that happens in the world of travel. So you said you're doing some of the usual stuff, but
Yeah.
then what else?
And definitely going to New York, one of my favorite places in October. Already planning that. By the end of January, my flights will be booked. Again, guys, anywhere you
Wow.
want to go, book early.
Yes.
If you looked for flights now, anywhere from now till the 15th of January to Thailand, usually a cheap destination, your
Yeah.
airfare is going to land you 35 grand
Yeah.
Wow.
To Thailand.
to Thailand.
Yeah, maybe not.
And it's weird because you can probably get accommodation for $1,000 a night,
Right.
right, in peak season.
Yeah.
We had a look. If you go May to October, which is their low season, it's supposed to be the rainy season in Thailand.
Yeah.
But if you go in May, that's the catch. There's no rain in May, but it's low season. You can get airfares from 10 grand up.
See, these are the
And
hacks that we get from
The
this man.
accommodation is unbelievable. 4-star accommodation
Yeah?
for 7 nights. For 2 people, not per person, will be about 3.5 grand.
So let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn, that's
So if you look at it per
Let's go.
person, it's
It's
1,500 rand for 7 nights
take you.
accommodation.
That's insane.
It's unreal. And when you're there, things are cheap. Going on we always tell people, you can book with us, I'll take your money. You want to book a island tour, I'll take your money. I'll charge you 2,000 rand per person. They'll fetch you at the hotel, take you to the marina, get on a speedboat, go and visit 4 islands. I'll charge you 2,000 rand. But when you're in Phuket, go to one of those travel shops, negotiate with them. The hack is, they're going to ask you where you're staying. Don't tell them the 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Tell them you're staying at the hostel.
Again,
Backpackers.
And tell them, no, don't fetch
useful
me.
info.
Don't
Yeah.
fetch me at my hostel.
You're on
I'll
the
meet you at the
corner.
shop,
I'm so poor that you mustn't
and it'll
fetch me.
cost you like $350 rather than $2,000.
And wear
good
like
to know.
tattered, cheap
You don't
clothes.
even have to. You don't even have to. My advantage is I'm brown, so they believe me. Yeah? You guys, they're gonna say Australian or United Kingdom. They're gonna try and nail you.
That's great.
But yeah, it's definitely a cheap destination for next year, provided you book in advance.
So, Achi, I did see this comment. Sango says, I wish I was this guy, meaning you.
That's a quiet year, Sango.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you sit with me next year, December?
And then somebody here also says, does Achi even know how many times I've been to Midrand this year? Hashtag blessed. That's Carl. I love it.
A little bit
Midrand.
further, you'd need a visa for that Boulevard curtain, wouldn't you?
That's amazing. I'm a private individual. When I travel, I prefer to do it on other people's passports. Does Achi have any advice for me? Slippery pickle. Oh, that's beautiful. I priced Thailand for my 40th, says Carl. For the four of us, that's with 2 kids, him and his wife and 2 kids, or his mistress, who knows with Carl. 15K for 7 nights, 4-star. That's
That's nuts.
excellent.
That's brilliant.
That's nuts.
Yo. Okay, I like that. That's bloody amazing.
How long ago did he turn 40? Be honest.
Well,
For 15K.
That's what he's got. I think he's pricing it for this year. Akhi, I'll be your coffee girl in Dubai, says that Don Kitty.
Look, the one thing that is clear, Dubai, London, international travel, not just the traveling part, just, in terms of the flights and accommodation, is super expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we think we've had bad inflation.
Yeah.
Trust me, you see in the UK and you see in places like Dubai, things are mad. I was fortunate now. We get Black Friday specials. I left on Black Friday, 29th of November. They call it White Friday, and it lasts for the week. So it doesn't just last the Friday. So
Typical white gets
Friday.
the whole week. Black gets just one day.
They celebrate
Unbelievable.
their national day on the 2nd and 3rd of December. So that weekend is actually a long weekend.
Ah.
And to celebrate it, all the Emirati shop owners, so not necessarily the foreign shop owners, they celebrate. They're so patriotic. They give everything away, 90% off.
Oh, wow.
There's the rich Emiratis. It's like a thing, the in their culture and that to give charity during a certain time of year. And the Mall of the Emirates. My wife told me that she was following it on TikTok. One of the Emirati guys went there with his Land Cruiser, opened up the boot. He had 500 new iPhone 16s and gave it to all the workers.
Wow.
The guys that are sweeping and cleaning and all of that in the mall, all the workers, he gave every one of them for free. Here's an iPhone 16. Brand
That's brilliant. So you went there hoping he'd give you one.
new. Yeah, because I look like them, so I'm a worker.
I live on the corner.
I was too late.
Grab a broom. You're like, I'm mopping here, whatever.
I was so late. But you do get really good specials. I mean, not amazing stuff. Dubai is not what it used to be
sure.
for shopping. But you do get some really cool specials. I mean, especially on the electronic side. My wife said, buy the kids a PlayStation 5. It's a lot cheaper here. And I'm like, no. They got school. They got this. It's a distraction. And they wore me down.
Oh, yeah.
And at 1 o'clock in the morning, the day before, I said, I'm going to give this a try. I spoke about it at our last one.
Yeah.
I said, in Dubai, you can order something anytime or night.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me see if it actually works. And I promise you in 15 minutes, I had a PlayStation 5.
That's
No,
insane.
and half the price of what you'd get it in South Africa.
At 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning. Came to the hotel, knocked on the
All right,
hotel
so
door.
before you go, because we're not going to see you until the new year, people who shop in airports, not the greatest idea. Like our airport, if you're going out of the country and giving someone a present, lekker.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause you
duty
can-
free.
Yeah,
shopping.
because you
Or
could take
curios
them
and stuff
You could
like
take them
that.
something very South African,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you've probably forgotten. Like most people don't plan as well as some. And you get there and you're like, well, I'm going to take them something that's very African. So and you got those nice shops there, like those out of Africa.
That's right, yeah.
But if you're in Doha or Dubai or any of those places, people always think I'm going to shop in the airport. Those prices are crazy.
They're mad.
Right?
It's guilt shopping.
Yeah.
You see,
and you
on
think,
your way
"Oh,
back, I
didn't
forgot about
buy
this person.
Aunt whatever a present, and I need to
I
get
need
her
a
something.
fridge magnet.
Get her a fridge magnet. It's the price of your house.
It's mad.
Right?
It's supposed to be duty free, and it's not. And that's something else that Two of Us does really well. We've got these retail stores in South Africa. If you've seen out of Africa, it's uniquely African, South African. It's got all of those African curios, and it's huge. Go to Doha or Dubai. You don't find an Emirati shop.
Yo, there's no
You don't
culture
find
into
a
it,
British
yeah.
shop in
No.
Heathrow. You don't find
No,
that.
it's just
where you can go and find
The same
stuff.
as everywhere else in the world.
Correct.
Cut and paste.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that Joe Burger's got.
And that's why they do really well, because the tourists that come here, they've never experienced that. And they go to an out of Africa, or origin store, and they get these things they would never get
It's
anywhere
something
else.
different.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, thank you for a year of incredible travel destinations and all
Yep.
kinds of hacks that we wouldn't get from anybody else because you're the only person who's experienced
Don't
enough
you want to
in
know where
travel
we're
to
going
know.
next year other than New York?
Bloody right. Go on.
Oh, well, we're looking at Antalya.
Turkey.
Yep. For a golf tour, possibly.
Very good.
So, yeah. And then our annual franchise conference. we're still looking into that, but it's going to be somewhere exotic. So
Okay, I'm always
there's
always
Egypt on the
excited.
cards and Bali on the cards.
Ooh,
So.
Egypt is
Oof,
rad.
Egypt! Wow.
Egypt is rad.
You ever been?
No, but
Oh, me neither.
one of our colleagues recently went, and her photos were nuts.
Did she do the Red Sea, or did she do the?
She did a bit of everything.
Is
She
that-
did the sea, she did the pyramids. The
So somebody says here, sorry to interrupt you, but someone says, is that pretty young lady in the denim just AI, or is she actually there to
we're
like?
gonna have to get you to talk more.
Okay, Sid, where would you like to go next year?
I'd love to go to Australia, some Bali
Wow.
again.
Australia?
Yeah,
What's there that you want to see?
I just love the people. I think
Really?
they're funny.
Okay.
Aussie's cool.
Yeah.
It's really far away
I love
though.
Bali so much. It is hard to get there, of course, but it's worth it, I think, because it's so cheap and, like you said about Thailand.
If you go with Singapore Airlines, it's actually quite easy getting there. It's not the cheapest, but it's the best connections and best flying time.
Apparently they are very good.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've never been on
Either.
Singapore
No,
Airlines.
they're amazing.
All right,
Not
Achi, well,
AI.
I'm afraid we're out of time,
Thank
but
you.
thank you so much. And I'm really, really pleased that we got to live vicariously through you a little bit this year with all of your travels. And we'll have more of that in the ensuing year. 2025 is just just right there, around the corner.
Yep.
30
Happy
minutes
holidays,
away.
everyone.
No, fuck, before you... Listen, you know that week between Christmas and New Year
It's the favorite week, my favorite week of the year.
where you don't know what date, day...
It's my
Time.
favorite time of year. It's before the 31st, though, before everyone plans a New Year's party, and just after Christmas. It's my best.
It is the best. I agree. That's coming up shortly. We'll also be back in just a moment. Achi and Window Seat will return in the new year. Go to travel.co.za and start planning your new year of travel. It's just there, waiting for you.
Are you leading towards Kendrick being a cloud chasing rapper?
Kendrick is leaning into cloud chasing for where it can benefit him. I'm not saying he's a cloud chasing rapper. It would be unfair to call him a cloud chasing rapper. But cloud chasing is a new feature that Kendrick has recently unlocked, in that he's playing to the crowd, where the crowd is expecting him to say something about someone. Look how many new fans Kendrick got because of Not Like Us. These are people who hadn't listened to Kendrick before. They're not fans of Kendrick. They're not diehard fans. But now, because of Not Like Us, they're like, yo, he finished Drake. Yo, whatever. Are you saying that now he's not what he's doing?
No, I don't see that. First of all, he randomly dropped an album.
Then you can, I think it's balls.
I think you are balls. I think you are balls.
The most common thing that either people accidentally poison themselves with or intentionally poison themselves with to unalive themselves is rat poison.
And it's called two-step also.
Two-step.
Yes.
Because
Just
you take
take
two
two
steps
Out.
out.
It's just foreign-owned spaza shops.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, I mean, I've heard speculations of it's actually organized poisoning of communities.
Yo.
Or
I
like
mean, that's a far-fetched thing to think
No,
of.
but it's
I know
not.
plenty
no, I
Pakistanis.
mean, it's loaded.
Murdering your customers is not good for business.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
All right. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and we are well into the last couple of gasps of December 2024. Yep, have to get used to writing a new date soon. You're going to spend most of January fucking that up. That's just how it works. People don't really write anymore. It's
Yeah,
now
I
on
wanted to
emails.
ask that.
But I used to, because I still take notes in meetings. So I would always write the date in the top corner there of the meeting and then who's in it. And at least for the first 3 weeks of January, I still go 24. Oh no, 25. That's what's going to happen. Guys, I don't think that's the real Gareth Cliff. It's a Gareth puppet. The set redesign was an elaborate ruse to substitute Gareth with a life-size Muppet. Damn, foiled again.
This sounds like, have you heard the stories about like the celebrities that have died, but they've had stunt doubled replace them?
What, like Elvis?
No, like Lady
Avril
Gaga
Lavigne.
and
Oh.
Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
Have you
really?
never heard these stories?
No.
So this is crazy when they say there's a stunt double of you. So it's like there's
I remember with
conspiracy.
Saddam Hussein, there was a lot of that.
Okay, that's maybe not celebrity, but
He was a
yes.
celebrity. Where's that picture of Saddam? Let's just remember the good old times, everybody, since Tanya brought this up. Where's that picture of good old Saddam? He used to have like 4 or 5 actual lookalikes.
Yeah, stunt doubles.
No, but he used to send them into like, dangerous
Hmm.
sort of speeches that he had to give somewhere or places where he wasn't sure who might be in the audience. These other Saddams, and some of them went for plastic surgery because he owned them, basically.
Yeah.
And he would keep them in, I don't know, jail, and then he'd send them out to be him at events. And everybody thought, nah, it can't be true. They found the guys after the Americans invaded Iraq. They found some of these guys. They were like, we got Saddam. And then the guy's like, I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm just stunt double. Seriously.
Have you?
What a horrible thing. What a horrible thing to put someone through. Can you imagine they probably fed them through the cage and like it must be just awful to be Saddam's stunt double. At least if you're Lady Gaga's stunt double, you get to do cool things.
Could
Well,
be
there's
worse.
that conspiracy theory. Go onto YouTube if you've got time. I've gone down a rabbit hole about Avril Lavigne, that people saw a gap in the music market for like a skater girl kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah?
And the real Avril Lavigne apparently didn't like all the fame. So remember, Avril went through like a transition and then had blonde hair and became super girly.
Yeah.
And people say that was the transition to the new stunt double.
Oh, really? So it's not really her.
So I'm like, I don't know if they've said the real Avril died or she just went into hiding and was like,
Well, people think Sid's AI.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe I am.
She's just
Can you
sitting.
blink
That's
twice?
why if you touch her, it just doesn't actually. Yeah, you see, that's gonna look like a blur when the AI doesn't do it right. Okay, so I feel James's pain. Audio is an absolute demon to handle, says that Don Kitty. Are we still? Is this what the comment section is
nice.
now? Is it just like it's
About
just
audio?
moaning about James? The real Avril Lavigne died in 2009.
There
says
we
Congo
go.
Chris.
Conspiracy
guys.
theories.
I don't know. Avril raised me. I love her.
Avril raised.
Were you a skater girl?
Yeah. Well,
Really?
no. Well, I couldn't skate, but I wanted to be. I wanted to be her.
You dressed like one.
I did.
Yeah, right.
I loved her. Even with those, those boot Converse shoes. Do you remember
Yeah.
those? I had
Oh,
those.
okay.
Yeah.
There was a theory that Eminem died in the early 2000s and was replaced by another rapper, hence the change in style, says KP. Wow, people will come up with...
This is a subsection of the internet, like conspiracy theories about celebrities.
So you said Lady Gaga, who else?
Avril Lavigne is
Now we've got
definitely one.
Eminem.
This, yeah,
Beyonce is another one. Somebody
probably.
says that... Because you remember there was the Destiny's Child Beyonce, and then suddenly...
It's every time a celebrity goes through a rebrand, if I call it that.
Yeah.
When they
Absolutely.
change
Well, then
completely.
Madonna has been replaced by 23 different versions over the years.
Or Donatella Versace. Have you seen her
Oh,
new
no.
plastic surgery?
All right, guys, you have to find a picture of the new Donatella Versace
Yes.
because she looked pretty
new one.
fucking horrible the last time I checked in. And although by no means does she look amazing here, it's an improvement. So whoever did the surgery before, she obviously fired. And then
Yeah.
she found someone to fix that because now, although, again, she's no oil painting, I think this is more realistic. And actually, I think she does look way better.
She looks way younger, too.
Yeah, which is not what that first surgeon should have been doing then.
Yeah.
In other words, that guy should be struck off the roll. Okay, really, he's no good. You have to. And there are guys getting this done too. So, ladies and gentlemen, get better plastic surgeons. Look at that. Okay, at least she looks human in the other. You know,
Yeah.
the picture on the right is what she looks like now. The hair is better. I mean, yeah, those lips, you can tell it's her, right? But the makeup's better. The
But her
skin's
nose,
better.
look, the nose
Yeah,
bridge.
it's got shape. like Instagram feed.
I didn't
while
recognize
scrolling.
her.
Yeah,
I like went down a rabbit hole again.
look, don't get me wrong. Either of those pop out of a dark alley on a cold Joburg night in the winter. I'm gonna run screaming with
Yeah.
piss dribbling down the inside of my leg.
She's
Trust
terrifying.
me. I mean, they're both terrifying. Now show Brigitte Macron. I saw the weirdest picture. You know, they redid, and I've got to give credit here to Pretty Yende, who's our opera singer from South Africa, who sang the most beautiful version of The Lord's My Shepherd in the opening of the new Notre Dame.
Oh, wow.
You know, they redid Notre
Yes.
Dame because of the fire and everything, and they opened it last weekend. And everyone, the who's who of, Europe was there, and America, frankly. And singing for all of them was homegrown South African Pretty Yende, an incredible singer, and really just the most unbelievable performance. So well done to her. But at that event, Donald Trump was there, President-elect Donald Trump of the United States, along with Emmanuel Macron, who is substantially smaller than Trump. And then Brigitte Macron, who, mean people, not me, mean people on the internet are saying is a man. I don't think that's fair. But people are asking us to show side by side of Brigitte Macron and Donatella Versace. Who's got longer to live?
Madonna, she's still performing.
Yeah, Madonna's made
She's
of,
going to outlive
she's made
you.
of like plutonium or something.
She's
She's not going anywhere. All right, so we married Donatella. You have to sleep with Madonna. And then you have to kill Brigitte Macron. Shame.
Easy.
Who thought she'd come last in that one? Horrible. All right. The difference between fake and real Tupperware, says Rajesh. That was that picture of Donatella. Fake and real Tupperware. By the way, I made a pasta with like a tomato sauce thing the other day. And I bought new... I didn't own any Tupperwares before because I just didn't have much use for them. I know. Don't look at me like that. I don't know much about cooking.
You're a real adult, but cool.
Someone once told me a long time ago, you never put the tomato sauce-based pastas or the tomato-based
stain
pastas into...
it?
Right, because your Tupperware never recovers, right?
There's
Yes,
ways to fix it, but that's a rookie error, Gareth.
I didn't. Because I knew this.
Oh, smart.
Otherwise, it looks like your Tupperware's
Or to get the
been
dark
traumatized.
Tupperware, because that still exists.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, so there's the way to do it. Whenever you do a FMK,
Yeah.
F, marry, kill, you must include Batabi Letlamini. No, but you know what's going to happen to her every time. Shame. How about Sharon Osbourne? All right. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, let's take a look. I don't want us to be beating up on old ladies here, but really, I think we give, on this show, we always give a lot of credit to women who look incredible at whatever age. And I include people like Jane Fonda, I include people like Joanna Lumley, I include people like Sophia Loren, who still looks spectacular. But honestly, Sharon Osbourne, the latest, I got to tell you, the latest picture I saw of her, and it's the people are calling this Ozempic face.
I'm not surprised.
So apparently, and don't take my word for it, because we interviewed a guy called Johan Hari a while ago about this Ozempic thing, and he was fascinating because he said he's still on it. He didn't like being heavy, and he decided he wanted to lose some weight, so he got on the Ozempic. He said it changed his life. He's a big fan, but he took the whole thing very seriously, like a science experiment.
But he did it properly.
Yeah, he did. And he compared notes with lots of other people, so it wasn't just his personal experience. And he wrote a book about it. And we've interviewed him, and you can go and watch that. So there's that side of the story. But people are telling me now, again, I say the internet, that there's such a thing as Ozempic face.
I was talking to you about
Yes.
that this is a thing that happens to people who've been
Sharon.
taking a lot of
Oh,
Ozempic.
Sharon.
And yeah, it's not all very flattering. I have to tell you, they get very gaunt, very drawn. And I don't know, this isn't even the worst picture of Sharon that you've got up there. There's one that somebody posted the other day that I reposted, and I thought, oof, that is not a good look. She really, she looks quite scary. The best looking for her age is Sure, says Rebellious
Oh,
Ruth.
yeah.
Queen.
Oh, yeah. No, she's
She can
magnificent.
stay.
Remember, Sharon has lip fillers. That looks cuck with Ozempic face. Yeah, so maybe it's a combo.
But it's also the proportion. Like Sid and I don't know if we call it a friend of a friend that we
Again,
know
this
is
where
using
I
it.
need your expertise because you guys look at proportion.
Yeah, but
and you look at
this
symmetry.
this
and-
person we know,
Uh-huh.
and we know that they're on it, has not been taking it properly, and now the
Abusing it.
proportion of their head is like it's that gaunted kind of slit, but then it's like a bobblehead because their shoulders
Like
are
this.
caving in now.
It's like this.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Dobby.
There's our friend.
And then
Here's is this your friend? Is this your friend? Is this the friend you were talking about?
Dobby's cute.
I mean, you know, with Sharon, white people generally do age like milk, and then you start adding like fucking Botox in, and it
Quote
makes
of
it a
the
bit
day.
worse.
White people age like
I
milk.
didn't think Sharon looked so bad before she started doing all of this. I really think that you've got to think very carefully. You've got to consider all the options before you go for drastic surgery or you start taking a medication that you maybe don't need. There was a time where everybody I knew who had lots of money, they were all taking Ozempic. And I thought, I'm always complaining about like that 5 or 6 kilos I want to lose, maybe 10, maybe more. And maybe I should do this. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who's a doctor. He said to me, don't be stupid. What you can do is go to the fucking gym and
Go
stop
on a
being
run.
lazy and stop eating things that you shouldn't eat. And then you'll be fine.
But also the serotonin from like, I know you're exercising a lot. If I had some time, I
well,
would too.
Sometimes.
But
Sometimes.
it feels way more rewarding.
Absolutely.
Like it's a longer, it's not a dopamine hit of like,
Right.
I'm skinny tomorrow.
Correct.
Versus like a,
Just also makes you genuinely happier, the endorphins from exercise.
Yeah.
or not eating crap.
Right, absolutely. I mean, listen, we're all guilty of this at some point. J-Lo is the best for her age, says Carl. She's almost 60 and still sexy as fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I also saw a picture of Salma Hayek the other day,
Oh, she's beautiful.
who's also like into her 50s, and she looks terrific.
Eva Mendes is also aging
Eva Mendes
so
too.
well.
And you know what? I mean, age, people always go, age is just a number, but honestly, it really is. Like in the case of some people, the genes help. With some of these people we've been talking about now, the genes definitely help. I would be reticent to. You got to look your age. There's nothing worse
Yeah.
than someone who is 70 pretending to be 30, right?
Yeah, you can also look beautiful at any age.
Absolutely.
Like if
That
you
I agree with.
embrace it, like you don't have to look like a hag at 23 or 73.
Well, I saw a lot of mean comments being made about Pamela Anderson, who's decided to go very natural now. She's not
Yes.
wearing a lot of makeup. She doesn't want to be. I mean, listen, this is the woman who, for a period in the 90s,
She was the-
probably. She was like Kim Kardashian.
She
but
was
to
the woman.
But to the power of 200, because remember, in those days, we didn't have a million different media and platform.
Yeah, she was a
Options.
celebrity.
Big time. She was probably the sexiest woman in the world for a very long time, and probably for the longest time.
Yeah, she's still known now.
And, you know, those Baywatch red costumes were made
And
famous.
the run.
Yeah, of course, that slow run with the
That
whatever.
theme song is still the best one ever.
Damn right.
I love
And the
that song.
Baywatch factor is something I talk about often when you're putting any kind of show together that, you know, that show proved you just put beautiful people on TV, you will get ratings. That was in those days, so there are different things now. But Pamela is looking, I think, pretty damn good. Mapelo says Tom Cruise in his 60s too. Yeah, because we haven't mentioned any guys, but yeah.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner,
is a
right?
hot old man.
Okay, there we go. The set lighting, says Morgs, makes me look aged and tired. Or is that just the impact of 2024?
Oh no.
Wow.
Thanks, lighting guys. Thanks, James. Thanks, Flex. Now I look aged and tired, according to Morgs.
Time for Ozempic.
Garrett's hair doesn't ever change, says Congo Christmas. I'm convinced he's a partial vampire. Pamela looks hot again, says Bitcoin Boot, like Lindsay Lohan.
Oh,
Ooh.
Lindsay Lohan. That's a
Lindsay's
big
gone
one.
through a lot of surgery though. She's
Yeah,
gone-
but she looked like destroyed back in the I think
Oh,
2000s.
but she did.
and now
She
she's-
destroyed herself.
she's, like,
I mean, that chick was partying every night and taking all of the drugs.
No one is as bad as Amanda Bynes, but we
Oh,
won't
no,
go down that road.
What happened to her?
She also raised me, and I feel really upset about.
Because she was like this wholesome Disney
She
girl.
was so cool.
And then she became a total street rat.
Now she's on TikTok, like talking about how she's doing manicure lessons, and it's wild. She's just something happened. Maybe she was
Almost like
cloned.
because
Almost like Britney.
you guys are younger than Britney was our Amanda Bynes.
Britney
my
was
generation.
mine. Like you had to be Team Britney or Christina. Like you had to choose.
I
had all
still,
of them.
I still can't get over like some of those videos that we've seen of Britney, like I don't know,
In her
doing those weird
high-pitched
dance
voice.
moves with the all on her own in a big house, looking a mess. It's just so bad.
I cannot not love her. Like, I can't. I think whatever medication and things she was fed for years has influenced her brain,
Yeah,
but I love her.
I also love her.
All right, well, let's talk about using theft to market a product. This is pretty wild too. Talk about wild.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just scrolling on Instagram the other night, and I saw these videos, and there was like this really strong magnet getting put on fridges.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Instagram video starts changing to people clipping off the magnets on clothes in shops, and I was just thinking, this is so.
Oh.
This is promoting theft essentially, and young kids are watching this, and they're probably buying this magnet and going out with their friends to, go through that phase in life where you steal shit, I guess. But that was just really interesting.
So in
to
other
me.
words, you buy this fridge magnet, and because it's got a really strong, obviously
can
one of those
take
like
they
away-
niobium
advertise
magnets.
it as a fridge magnet.
And I've always wondered what it is that they use at the shops, because, again, call me naive and stupid. I've never thought I want to steal these things, and therefore I've got to find out what that thing is that they go clunk
It's like
with.
one little pin that
Right.
goes in and like unlocks it.
But it's obviously a strong
Yeah.
magnet, right?
Yeah. Sell it as a little key ring.
So in other words, I
Give it to
think
your friends.
you've just
Oh.
helped promote. Here we go. Here's the video.
Oh, you always well dressed.
Yeah, well, let's watch this. There we go. It's just a clip. Oh, it's just a picture. Oh my
Well, there's a
God.
magnet.
All right.
Is that the thing in
I
their
think-
hands?
Yeah, I think it can be seen as anti-establishment, but it's more about
stealing? I don't think
Yeah.
we need to go into why that's bad in 2024.
yeah.
I always wonder with these kind of things, and even in movies, like when they actually give people ideas to do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look at
Exactly.
this hack. You're like, I don't think a mass amount of people should know about this.
Yeah.
I do worry about it.
When they give you ideas of how to build a bomb on the
Yeah,
internet, not
like,
good, right?
Don't think that's wise.
So here we go. You're teaching your girlfriend how to save money. That's terrible. And then you just take the magnet and use it on the clothes, and it pulls those little tags right off.
Again, now people are going to start getting scanned for magnets before you
Jesus.
go in a store.
Yeah.
Like, this
We've
feels
created
chaos.
a new level. It's unbelievable. Okay. We were talking earlier about how AI is going to, I think, ultimately replace horoscopes and things. Do you actually pay any attention to that stuff? Because you got me on an app.
Yes. So
and I actually was contacted by another friend of mine, and she's also on there. And she's
Okay.
like, what the hell are you doing on here? It's
So-
called CoStar.
yes,
okay?
I got Gareth to download CoStar quite
I-
easily. So you were slightly reluctant, but you were like, let me see what it's
All
about.
right, so I did it. It's basically you go on, but the reason I did want to do it is because everybody else here was on it, and I thought it could be interesting because you kind of get to
What does
know,
our message say today?
know other people who you work with, and it tells you a little bit about them, and sometimes sometimes it's scarily accurate.
Yeah.
But then that would be like the roulette wheel, and sometimes it lands on your number.
What's your big three? So at the top. So you're a Virgo
What does that mean? Where do I go to big three?
on your profile. at the top.
What's that?
You're a Virgo, Aquarius, Pisces.
Virgo,
so you're
Aquarius,
a Virgo
Pisces.
Sun, Aquarius Moon, and Pisces Rising.
What does that mean?
So apparently,
Here we go. I'm getting a horoscope live on
I
air.
can't believe I'm doing this. So I can't believe I'm doing
Virgo
this.
moon is like
Virgo Sun is what you are.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever
Right.
traits they attach to Virgo,
Right.
that's what you are. Your moon is Aquarius. So whatever traits they attach to Aquarius is how you organize your work life and structuring things. That's how I understand it.
Okay.
And then your rising is how people perceive you to be. So whatever the kind of sign attributes of
I
Pisces
think I'm a
is.
fish.
No, you think you're emotional as fuck. Pisces just cries for me.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think we just use this app to sort of gauge
Vibe
if we
check.
like people or not, because your
Yeah,
top 3 is
so-
important.
I always go into this main page if I go on. Because it usually sends me these
So
notifications.
you know you can go on the main page or you can go on my profile specifically and it'll give us a different message from
So,
your
I mean,
main page.
what this one does, for example, if you want to do this, and it could be, again, as per our discussion in the first hour about how people are just obsessed with themselves and any amount of self-analysis that any app or the internet can give you, people just fall in love with. And mine says fall in love with losing, which I hate.
What's your do's
Okay.
and don'ts for the day?
Do lawn games.
Okay. Croquet for you this afternoon.
That's not going to happen. But I don't have any lawn games as part of my plan for the day. Sock hops, which is a very American thing. That's like a laundry basket that you put your socks in.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Also odd. Drive-in theater. I don't even know if we have any in South Africa anymore. So completely irrelevant.
Okay.
Don't, it says disguises. Well, I was going to wear my fake moustache and glasses.
your cabinet.
Yeah.
of your-
I was going to wear my gorilla mask today, but damn, if it says I mustn't, then I won't. Exclusion and performances.
Well, performance, you've already done that, so here we are.
I don't know.
What does our message say today? Because the example I actually shared with James was you texting me one day, and because it said, I don't know, I was apparently going through a cuck time, and it said, you have to call me. And your text to me said, do I really have to?
Yeah, okay,
That was great.
So what it does for me, and I don't think this is like removing the fourth wall or looking up the skirt, but basically for me, it gives me a chance sometimes to find some reason to connect with somebody. There we go. There's our message.
Yeah.
You
It's
actually
very surprising
screenshotted that
that
and
you
shared it. There we go. Okay, so for us, it says today.
Did I make your homepage? Because that's the other thing. Sid got really upset because I started introducing more people to this app.
Yeah,
And
you
then-
started this whole thing.
And then this algorithm would pick up my new people on my home feed because they only give you 3 kind of messages on the home feed.
Yeah, you're not coming up on my home feed.
Yeah, so Sid dropped off my home feed for a bit.
Yeah,
What
you're
does
not
ours
on mine
say?
either.
You'll have to search on our thing.
But we generally have it
Okay,
going.
but this stuff's mostly bullshit, right?
It is.
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing to get people talking to each other. And I don't think it's bad. I don't think there's like a negative downside
Like-
to it. Unless you're actually going around believing this stuff.
If you're letting it lead your life,
Yeah, if you don't leave
if you're
home.
not going to go and sock hop later, I'm worried about you. Or play lawn games.
Yeah, no lawn games or sock hop or whatever else the other one was. I just think that there are people in the world who actually will not leave home today because their horoscope tells them, you're not going to have the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's again
Khomotso
extremist.
wants to know what's the app. It's called
CoStar.
CoStar.
It's like social media for astrology.
If I download the app, can I take Sid out on a date asking for a friend, says Matthew.
Do we talk about boys now?
Oh, well, we might as well.
Okay, go.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to talk about boys.
Sid's recently single, that's all we'll say.
I'm recently
Ah.
single.
Happily so?
Relatively, I think it's an adjustment because I'm a little bit of a serial dater.
How
but
long were you
trying
in
the
the
single
last
thing now.
relationship?
My last one was about 1.5 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it was great. It was lovely.
Were
We're
you
still
living
friends.
together?
We were living together.
See, that complicates things.
It does. Don't move in the honeymoon stage because then you have to move out.
Sid also says she's a serial dater because the relationship before that,
Yeah, no, yeah.
they broke up and she started dating this new guy
Straight away?
10 days later.
Oh.
So Sid and I are very opposites in that way.
But I
Yeah.
am finding myself now, and I'm enjoying it. So it's cool. I don't need that right now.
I really think you get, again, this may be to some people as much bullshit as astrology, but I think you get relationship people. Most people are actually, they like being with somebody. They like someone around them. Not
Yeah.
because there's any deficiency in them or they're better or worse, but they just, it's a nice feeling for them. It's like some people like the color green or the color blue or whatever. You've got your preferences. And for some people, their setting is to be in a relationship.
Yeah, it's the crutch, which I don't like. It's when your whole life becomes the relationship.
Yeah.
That's obviously a problem. But I have friends who I put in the category of relationships. When they're with somebody, they're actually happier.
And a better version of themselves.
Absolutely. And then there are the ones who are not good at that stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones who, you know, whenever they're in a relationship, it's going to end in tears. It's a disaster. There's always drama.
Sounds like me.
It's high tension.
I'm
it's-
in that vein right now. I think I've said that.
Of what,
I
being
was
single?
becoming Tanya. I'm just like, I don't need that sort of reliance on another person, and that's
Good.
awesome, because now I can just figure out you know yourself. Being single is interesting. I was terrified of being single, like very, very scared.
Why? It's like not you don't want to be alone.
Yeah, kind of. I think it was that subconsciously, but now I just want to be alone so desperately. I love it.
Do you think
For a
it's
little
gonna
bit.
last?
I think so.
I
I know
don't
it
think
will.
it'll last.
What, you being single?
I mean, it'll last.
I think so. Sid's about to do exciting things. Like she's moving into her first own apartment, like living alone.
Yeah.
So she's going through all of those teething pains.
That scares me also, just like the quiet of your own sort of company. But it's exciting.
No, it is exciting.
If anyone wants to teach
listen,
me how to set up Wi-Fi.
again,
If anyone wants to teach
That
her how
would
to
be great.
set up Wi-Fi.
Are we dealing with those kinds of practical
Yes.
problems?
Yeah.
That Don Kitty says monogamy is my jam. Thanks. It's just a strange thing that so many people in the world we live in right now are able to make these choices. Before, it just wasn't an available choice. You go back to your grandmother and grandfather. There's no way a woman in her 30s or 40s could decide, I want to be on my own. She would have been like burnt at the stake or ostracized from the community or called a witch or something.
Well,
you
she
know?
wouldn't survive.
No, she would not survive.
Because she wouldn't
And
have
frankly,
anything.
a lot of men would not have survived in those days too,
Yeah.
because if you were on your own, you're outside of the tribe, and people think there's something wrong with you, leprosy, or you know, there's something going on. So it does take all kinds, and these days, at least, we live in a world where we can actually make our decisions and do what we want to do.
for sure.
It used to be completely bizarre to meet people who did not want to have children. Full stop. They decided didn't want to have children.
Was
These
that bizarre
days-
to you?
No.
Oh.
But no. But long
Yeah.
ago. I'm talking like
It still
50,
is
60
though,
years
to be
ago.
honest. Like that benchmark of a lot of people, and I get it more now in like my 30s, and they've stopped asking, but it's like when you're getting married. It's like those are like the benchmarks of like life success, like marriage and kids.
And for some people, that's also why they hate this time of year, because they'll go to a family event and then there's going to be some old lady or old man in the family who's going to go, "So are you married yet?"
Yeah.
And you'll be like, no. I mean, my sister gets furious about this. She's been with her boyfriend now for, like, I think 13, 14 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they don't really have an interest in the idea of
marriage.
the government being brought into their relationship.
I
But
quite like that because it works for them.
it works for them, fine. But there are some people who, when they're around them, they go, "Oh, so you two have been together a long time. Why don't you get married?" And my sister just goes, "Ugh," because it drives her crazy that they think that they should be involved in some way in these
Yeah.
decisions. Or maybe they're just curious. I don't know.
Also, because our country's still quite conservative, and I say this,
Yeah.
Gareth, like friends of mine recently had a baby. They're
Mm-hmm.
engaged. Like they're like actively in a happy relationship,
But not married.
but not married.
So it's a bastard child.
Apparently, in the hospital, you get 2 forms to
Yeah?
fill in. the out of wedlock, and the if you're married. So they wanted to double barrel their surname for their baby, and the forms don't allow that. They were like, if you're not married, you have to choose the mother or the father's surname, or one of the surnames needs to be a middle name. In South Africa,
Really?
you can't. And they were like, cool, we're going to get married, and we are going to double barrel. So surely we want our son. And they were like, nope. So now they've
That's
ended up using
crazy.
one of their surnames as a middle name for their child.
Oh, wow.
Because South Africa doesn't allow that. It's either married or out of wedlock.
That's very old school, huh?
I was like, this is wild.
But I mean, I jokingly said a bastard child, but that's what they used to call
Yeah.
people who were born out
Like
of wedlock.
shotgun weddings.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder
It
if
was,
shotgun weddings
it was
still
deeply
happen.
They
embarrassing.
do.
If the bride walked down the aisle and she was showing a little bit,
Yo, then you have a big, like Cinderella dresses. You've seen those as well. Like the excessively big shaped, like
right, exactly,
cupcake cones.
because it was embarrassing.
Yeah, I know people my age, so last year, that they got engaged, like let's say in like June, July, and suddenly there was a wedding in,
Oh, okay.
in like
I
December.
Also, that's funny because people my age are getting married for passports to like go and travel and citizenship. So
Oh,
we keep thinking,
wow.
oh, it's
Talk
shotgun
about
wedding, but then
utilitarian, huh?
then they immigrate.
Gen
It's just
Zs.
funny. I mean, I have friends that are married and desperately unhappy. I have friends that are engaged and over the moon. It's just a very weird time.
It is strange. So somebody says here, the world today, when it comes to this stuff, is an absolute mess. Seeing it with teenagers, God help us. That's rebellious Ruth. Yeah, I do think it's complicated. Engagement doesn't count with the government, says that Don Kitty. South Africa is so behind. If I want to Genghis and give them my name, I should be able to. Harmin says it's ridiculous. I also believe it's unfair that a child automatically gets the father's name. Should 100% be the parent's choice and the final choice is the mother's. That's what Harmin says. Very controversial, that. I don't know. The best thing to do about those relatives who ask you questions that you don't want to answer at Christmas, like, why are you not married yet? Or are you married? Or why haven't you had a grandchild for me yet? Or whatever. Is to say, why aren't you dead yet? Because that shuts them the hell up instantly, right?
Yeah, when are you checking out?
Yeah, when are you checking
Are you
out?
ready for the
Why
big
aren't you
sleep?
dead?
Oh, since we're on like asking each other personal questions, didn't you have some kind of chronic condition last year? Tik Tok, Grandma. Huh?
God,
Didn't
imagine.
work out
The
well.
big sleep is upon you.
Yeah, when are you going to take your big sleep? I love that. Okay, so people are still asking about that. I knew this would be a thing, the
What?
CoStar app. People love it.
See,
And yeah, this audience that we have on the show, I mean, largely, I'm talking about the comment section. Most people are probably quite sensible. The comment section's insane. They all pretend that they don't believe in any of that crap, right? But
Most people do.
Seeing so many comments here. What's that app? How do I look
also,
it up?
if someone downloads this, I'm telling you now, if you sync your phone book to it, you'll be surprised how many of your friends actually have it because your number's linked to it. So if you sync your phone book to it, you'll see quite quickly, because you can add people and they have to accept you, but you'll still know who's on the app.
Congo Chris says, I'd like to remind everyone, this time last year, Gareth was swooning over the idea of having a girlfriend in 2024. Here we are a year later.
Oh, no.
And he is still a spinster. I like the way you use the word spinster to describe. I did seriously try. I tried. It didn't happen. What can I tell you? Sid, you're stunning. Being single and having freedom again is fun, says Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Just working.
Just working. Just working.
Yeah,
That's
when she
so
says
much
fun, she doesn't mean the Gareth
Just
spinster
working.
fun. Just working.
Raven says, give Grandma with the annoying questions about grandchildren a COVID-infected blanket for Christmas. Chomotso wants to know, if people marry for passports, I'm going to have a Swiss passport and available for a price. Well, that sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there
I
a
have a
dating app for
French one.
this?
There should be, right?
Yeah.
That's a big business opportunity.
That feels
if you
right.
create the app that allows people, you obviously can't let the governments know about it, though, so it's got to be very undercover.
It
Where,
can't be on
you
obvious
have
name.
X passport, then you get like a value according to, because there's some passports that get you
Yes,
everywhere.
yeah.
And then you get some that are shitty. Like I
Yeah.
know ours doesn't really help.
Yeah,
right?
we're somewhere at the bottom.
We're near the bottom. if you then attach a number to it, like we would be a 2 maybe, and like an Irish or Swiss would be a 20, something like that. And then people can go in and decide what passport they want.
But also like how difficult it would be to get it.
And what do you have to offer?
Yes. And
you
what do
almost
you
have to say, I have these qualifications. I've got that much money. I work in this industry. This is a picture of me. All those kinds of things. And then people can figure out how much it's worth.
Yeah, because some of the countries you can just marry and you get it automatically, and others like the UK, you have to live there for 5 years, then you have to prove your relationship.
Yeah.
So on this app, I would want to know the difficulty level of the passport I'm getting. Like, how much do I need to commit?
Rebellious Ruth says, I got my Tinder match because I give attention to the stars. See? So people do. They're admitting it and they believe it.
Maybe CoStar should be a dating app.
Maybe.
Boy,
Maybe
I
they
don't
should
know.
just add a dating like tab to it. All I say is don't be afraid to want to be in a relationship, says that Don Kitty. You don't have to convince yourself you're a strong, independent woman just because you haven't found someone you want to be with. That's a good point.
So
Because
true.
there's a lot of that crap about like strong, independent women and like some of these girls who are saying, I'm a strong, independent woman. But she just wants
I think we're like strongly
and she just wants to be in a
dependent.
relationship. Oh, come on. Can someone say human trafficking opportunity with that? That's true,
Boy, okay, yeah, that's the dark side of it.
because that will happen.
So sad that we always have to consider that. And anyway,
Roxanne says also there's an Afrikaans dating app in the Cape called Kur.
It's not just in the Cape. My friend owns it. Armand.
Really?
Armand owns it. And every
Tell
time
me.
I've judged pen during awards, so it's actually cool. So
Okay, so just for those people who don't know, Tanya has been professionally judging like everything this year, including you. You don't know it, but she's judging you right now. She's judged every advertising and design and creative award thing in South Africa. This is one of the side hustles.
yeah,
In fact,
to run away from you.
She spends 3 days a week at work and the rest of the week at
Just judging people.
things. Okay, so you were saying?
So at the Pendoring Awards, because obviously it's a show that started for just Afrikaans, dance for all languages, but Kur gets entered, and Amant Okamp, he's one of the owners. But it's a funny name because Kur means chirping, so it's birds, like lovebirds. So
Oh.
Kur means chirping,
Oh, that's clever.
and the swiping is called Kur, so you're either chirping or you kus, which is funny,
Oh,
which is stodge.
That's bad.
So you either kur or kus.
it's so lovely.
It's thriving in Pretoria,
Really?
not just in the Cape. Yeah,
Wow, okay, so maybe
Kur is a
that's-
thing.
Okay, I've got some friends I might need to put on there.
Yeah,
That-
and I've known people I know people who've actually had success
Kur
there.
and kus.
So the swiping is kuring or kussing.
Just one letter wrong there,
Yeah.
and we could have a whole different kind of app. You know?
I think they've got some merchandise along those lines. I'm
That's
not going to
so
lie.
clever.
Their ads are also really funny,
Okay,
like really, really funny.
like it. It looks like Microsoft invaded the show. Poor sound, black screen, and ads. Need a decent antivirus. Paul, I think it's your computer, dude. It's just you.
Your kid of Windows.
Yeah, get off Windows.
I'm a designer. Sorry.
Skus verpoes. says Raymond.
This sounds like the song you played us earlier.
It does, actually. Give them that song again. I know people are just desperate for it. Go on, James. Give them that nice Dutch song about where Marnus or Manus puts his finger. Right, what? Have you lost it already, James?
James, we try to vouch for you here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Look at her face.
Oh nou, ik ben die sexy weer. Maar ja,
He's so sexy, isn't he?
zo'n mooie kont.
He's clapping Marvin or James.
Finger right, man. Oh, it's disgusting. All right. Enough. Enough. I can't. It's too much. But they were clapping. The producers were having the best time. Flex
I
and
don't know if it
Marvin
was
and
Flex or
James.
James, but
they
they're
were all
having
clapping
the
like
jewel of
wild.
their life
Yeah,
back
they loved it. Yeah, well, how exciting for that woman. You could see when she goes, honest, eyes go all big. So, Manus, you got to stop that, all right? Maybe Manus is on kur.
Look, I'm not going to lie. She looks like she could be somewhere in South Africa.
It's just unfortunate that kur, if you change one letter, becomes hur.
Or moon.
And kus becomes puss. It's not good.
You're not wrong.
So any Afrikaans people...
well, I feel like it's all still in the brand package there.
It might be, hey? Clever, though. Because there's J-Date for the Jews.
Yeah.
J
J-Swipe.
Swipe.
Sorry, J-Swipe. Sorry, that's the one.
Yeah, that's very small.
There's Bumble. I don't know what the
Yeah.
difference is between Bumble and
Bumble
Tinder.
is... I've not been in a single one of these. On one of
don't
them,
know
the
either.
woman can message first. I know there's
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
those.
that's Bumble.
There's Hinge as well, which I call unhinged.
No, okay, so what's
Hinge
that?
is actually quite beautiful. I don't use Hinge, but it's
Oh,
quite
no,
like
nobody
from the
ever
UI
uses it, but
UX
they-
point of view, it is
Are we gonna-
beautiful. Like from the brand.
Really?
Should we
It's
download
stunning.
the dating app for the brand? Should we try it?
I mean, that's why I told our friend to. He was like, maybe I want to try a dating app. I said, don't go to Tinder. Tinder's for lamos. Go to Hinge. Because
Okay.
Hinge is just beautiful. I don't know.
We don't care about who's on it. Just
I don't
that
really
it's
want to
pretty.
see. I don't want other people seeing me on a dating app.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've
All
never
right,
been.
some feedback here. I prefer the Vakansie song. The bored goat in the back of that video is very disturbing. Yeah, there was a goat there. That is
There
disturbing.
was a lot happening there.
Huge. The guy's in the bath.
The guy
at
in the
some
bath
point.
in the garden.
Very weird. If you want that experience, go to Hermanus. For Manus's finger up your anus. Okay, very good. But it's amazing that you can find a community and you can find an app that will hook you up with people who have similar interests, people who are available. I mean, this is where technology is spectacular. And I understand people who want to go on these apps. In fact, a lot of people we showed this video not so long ago, 2024, the last 10 years even, have met their person on there. You know, good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also that there are weird components to this, like the people who have the bizarre fetishes, they all find each other.
I just can't stand the small talky part. Like,
Really?
I don't really have time.
You just want to get straight to the hookup.
Yeah, either that or just like, I don't know, like who are you? What color do you like? All
Yeah.
those
If you
stupid topics.
found Tanya, she's not on these things, but if you found her on any of them, she'd basically just drop her address right there. Like,
I'm
what's up?
a Scorpio. It links
No.
up
Yeah,
with
go
my
straight
star
to it.
sign.
There we go. But Hinge people are shy, according to Judas.
Oh.
I agree the app is pleasing to the eye.
I don't know, but it is pleasing to the
I feel
eye.
like we should get you on Hinge.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't know, hey.
I don't know what the rules are.
Try
Like, what-
Tumblr,
Tumblr.
says Slippery Pickle.
Was Tumblr not the blog website back in the day before Pinterest
Yeah, I
existed?
think Tumblr was...
Tumblr is for email.
I don't know, they used to... It used to be a thing.
Yes, Tumblr was
Yeah.
like Pinterest before
Right.
Pinterest. And it was completely unhinged.
Tumblr is still a thing.
Listen, the one place you should not be trying to pick up a date is on LinkedIn.
I was about to say that.
Because-
Guys, try that, Gareth.
What?
Yeah. So Gareth Van Vieren, who reposted my post about being on the show today, said we're going to talk about boys. If I open my phone now, I'll tell you there are DMs of guys.
In LinkedIn?
Yeah. Guys will also message you on LinkedIn trying to tell you what they do for a living. You're like, work in engineering. We're never going to cross paths.
That's so crazy
From a
to
work
me.
point of view. And then they'll ask you on dates.
Apparently, though, for old people, Facebook is now, they call it Facebook. And don't think that just because they're old, because we've heard the stories about old age homes and all the rest of it, right? That they just, it's pandemonium there and
Yeah.
everybody's
I'm
just
ready for that time of my
climbing
life.
into each other's beds. And
But
like, it
STDs.
sounds like just a wild vacation, but when you think about that these people are old, it somehow, makes it less sexy. Anyway, fact is that Facebook is now where they all go.
What, to Marketplace?
Clearly, well, I don't know.
Or
They're
do they
marketing
just-
themselves.
Do they just randomly like drop into DMs? Like,
They're marketing themselves.
because
Who
I know
knows?
a lot of people who
Raya's the celebrity.
Raya.
Raya's the
Because I know a
celebrity.
lot of people, like older people, who've like found their friends from high school, from 19, whatever.
Yeah?
And that's how they start chatting. Because they go and see like, oh, this one's like wife died, or like they got divorced,
Oh,
and then they
boy.
like. I'm like,
Wow.
I don't want to see anyone from school. I'm sorry.
Can
I don't
anyone
care.
go on Raya?
I was just horrified the other day. I met a friend of mine, and he has a daughter who's, I mean, she's probably in her teens. And we were talking, and she goes, "Oh, you two are from the last century." She wasn't even being insulting. She wasn't trying to be rude. But she said, "Oh, so you were born in the last century." And I suddenly felt like 1,000 years old. I was like, yes, I was born in the last century, because my birth date, when I write it down, starts with a 19 as opposed to a 20. She was like, wow, that's a long time ago. And I felt very,
You're still-
very old.
I'm in 19. as well.
Apparently, are there any dating apps for Indian guys? Mo Rabbit says any app is a dating app for Indian guys. Okay. New way to do dating is curated connections. It's like modern speed dating for young professionals.
Does that exist?
Modern
Clearly.
speed dating.
Curated
don't think this is the-
connections.
Is that what it's called? Should we be
The
on
worst dating
curated
app is
connections?
Badoo. Anybody heard of Badoo?
That sounds like the Flintstones.
Dude,
Yeah,
I've
but
never
do.
heard of-
I don't.
Why
I
are there
wouldn't.
so many? They should make one called like What's Left.
What's left?
Anyone with grinder experience, please share,
Oh,
says
stop it.
Mapelo.
No. So just said we need to create one called What's Left.
What's left? Oh, yeah. That's like after everybody else has been cleaned out on all the other dating apps, then what's left?
It's just.
I wonder who would
this
actually
is
go and
what
sign up for What's
scares
Left.
me about being single is that there's so many new things, and I feel like I've jumped back like forward in time because I've been in relationships for so long, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are the rules? What do you do? How do you even be
And
single?
there are rules.
There's too many things.
There are rules. You can't go into these apps now, and as someone who's unversed in it, and you'll make terrible mistakes if you do. You need to speak to people who've got experience
I need
there.
some training.
Because otherwise, because it's like a horrible, scary world in some ways, and like really interesting, I suppose, and exciting for some people.
Yo,
Just
or
be
you could
careful.
fumble the bag hard. Like you could meet the love of your life and fuck it up.
Yeah.
All that.
I'm on Raya, says Homotso.
Mm.
Not everyone is a celebrity. There are definitely some swindlers there.
I'll go on Raya.
Okay.
Which celebrity do you want to do?
I don't know all of them.
All of
No, I'm
I
kidding.
still want to know about that terrible one called Badoo.
Yo, what is Badoo?
I didn't know about that. That sounds interesting. We're going to have to research that and come back to you. We'll have to figure
You're
that
up.
out.
Yo, to get onto Badoo.
All right, well, it is that time of the year, so everybody who is ready for the holidays, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Hell yeah.
Aye, triple
Right,
aye.
I'm excited. All right, and we've got our interviewer function on Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus, it's tomorrow.
It is
That's right.
tomorrow. I'll come straight from a shoot, but I'll arrive late.
We're gonna do
Please
this.
don't leave before I arrive.
No, but I won't.
Because
do
I
that.
know you. You're a very good 1.5 hour work the
me.
room and fuck off.
That's the plan. But I'll try and stay a bit longer. I'll be decent about it. All right, guys, thanks so much for being on the show this morning. It's been fun to actually sit here and talk shit with you. And clearly, everybody else has enjoyed it too. And we will see you on Friday morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. without that big ugly logo that neither Tanya and I like.
Nope.
There. We like the logo, but we prefer it there.
Or on your desk.
There. That's where we like it. No. And, yeah,
It's not working.
there. Okay,
There
we'll
we go.
put it there. All right. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Je hebt zo'n mooie kont, zo mollig en zo rond. Oh, wat een gat, wat een gevoel